Love, Dishonor, Marry, Die, Cherish, Perish, a novel by David Rakoff. 2013 novel that I picked up on a whim from the library because I was looking for a short something to listen to as I bike to and from work. So I thought, here's something that's just 2 CDs long. I think it's like 113 pages when it's paper form. So put on my headphones, put my phone tucked deep in all my stuff, and started pedaling to work. And the guy starts rhyming. Okay, rhyming book. Not what I was expecting, but okay, I'll just ride to work, and if it sucks at the end of that, I'll just find something else on my phone to listen to coming back. And then it was like, oh, this isn't a traditional novel. It's more of kind of a loosely interconnected stories, kind of a saga, because it's one of these things that's going from 1920s Chicago to 1950s Madison Avenue to this kind of pre-age San Francisco, wild San Francisco at the time, all the way up to like contemporary Israeli settlement. So it's spanning all this time. It's got lots of different characters. There's no main characters. There's one character who sort of I think is maybe more autobiographical to Rakoff. I have no idea, but felt more like that. That does kind of continue throughout the book, though significantly. That character actually does die before the end of the book. Um, but so it's more of a kind of a loose gathering of people, kind of this kind of sweeping decades, sweeping over lots of different character stories. Rakoff actually reads the book. He's got this kind of wispy, intimate voice, and I really appreciate it. It's the author reading and not someone kind of acting. I mean, not all people who read audiobooks actually are do that kind of pushy acting thing, but I find when writers read their own work, they definitely are much more laid back because they're much more confident in the words themselves actually telling the story, and they're not trying to sort of tell you how to feel through their reading. They let the words do that, which I really appreciate. So yeah, it's in rhyming it's in rhyming verse. So you get stuff like no, I can't find it. Yeah, Helen just stands there observing it all, sipping her gimlet against the far wall. So it's just kind of a rhyming, regular meter thing you expect. It's more of sort of something that you'd hear in a limerick or something like that. But nope, here it is being used in a narrative structure. And actually, I like lots of people like Homer and other people have discovered a long time ago. This is actually a great way to give a story cohesion and drive, and also actually a lot of humor over the many tragedies and difficulties in the book. The book opens with not a graphic uh, rape, but there's a rape of a 12-year-old girl, and her heading across America. And it's not like that; it's played for laughs, but actually, it's not played for laughs. It's very sad, which is another thing of making this rhyming thing. How much emotion and how much thoughtfulness it can actually hold on to. Um, so one of my favorite characters is Cliff, this young fellow who's an artist, and right from the early age. And one of the favorite kind of early scenes is him going to an adult art class and seeing a very beautiful male model nude for the first time, and him swooning, passing out. And yes, kind of there's the whole sexual awakening in there as well. There's also Helen, his cousin, and her ill-judged affair with her boss, who becomes, to the scorn of her 50s co-workers in Madison Avenue, the woman who ruined Christmas one year by being so difficult. And it was one of these stories. One of these stories like, oh, it's a bit of a downer. Is he kind of like saying, oh, this poor pathetic woman, and is that kind of gross in itself, but through the author? But actually, no. By the end of that story, because I went back and listened to it again, um, she's found her own dignity and her own power, and it ends up being actually quite a powerful story for Helen in that thing. There's also a wedding toast to end all wedding toasts, where the bride invites an ex to her wedding with who is the guy who she cuckolded with the groom, and the guest gives this wedding toast, which uses the fable of the scorpion getting carried across the river, which is such an overused fable in stories like this that my eyes were rolling back in my head. But Rakoff actually manages to contextualize it within the story and make meaning slippery enough of the guest is telling. I say guest because I can't remember the name of the people. The guest is actually telling his ex and telling the groom that it actually elevates it back up again and kind of brings it back to life. But that's a really tough thing. I was really surprised he's actually able to pull that off. So this was Rakoff's last book. He died in 2012. This was published posthumously. He recorded the audiobook just weeks before he died. So I'm going to go back and read his essays because that's what he's mostly known for. Read or listen to them. Yeah, and I was really surprised that I enjoyed this book. I would not have picked it up if I'd known going in. So I'm really surprised. I'm really happy with my ignorance here, that it was that I didn't know, because that's rhyming verse is actually good for telling a story. Surprise. Yes, I have actually read Homer and things like that, though a lot of the modern translations don't actually do the rhyming, but Chaucer or things like that. So yeah, my reading chops. But yes, I was really happy to be surprised. Really enjoyed this book. So if it sounds like this might be your sort of thing, I would totally check it out. That's all for now. More videos later.